Hello and welcome, brave adventurers, to a journey that will test not only your mettle but also the depth of your strategic prowess. As the sun sets over the Sword Coast, we embark on an odyssey through the realms of Baldur's Gate, and let's see what happens. This isn't just another playthrough, it is a challenge of unparalleled proportions. Let's directly start with the character creation. So I am going to play on Tactician, which is the hardest difficulty Baldur's Gate 3 comes with. So eventually we will dive into this epic adventure, and our journey begins as a cleric. That's the plan for now, which is possibly one of the most, I think it's a less played actually class. It is a bit not underwhelmed, but I think it's underrated in a sense. I don't know if I will multi-class or not. That will happen throughout the game. I'm not sure if I'm going the evil, neutral or good path. I'm going to do a complete evil playthrough anyway, so I will be somewhere in between right now, like personal preference. First of all, we will start as a cleric, which is an embodiment of both faith and might, and we will be guided by divine magic and our wits, so we shall forge our path, healing the wounded and smiting the wicked with righteous fury. Let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to play, even though there might be better choices in terms of playability, in terms of race, I certainly will go for the human race, I suppose. There's a couple of reasons for that. I will come to that in a second. Before, a short introduction up front. So this is a fairly new channel, so I would enjoy every comment, like and subscribe. I do run a tabletop channel on German language with a couple of thousand subscribers, but certainly I'm back into video games for now, and I wanted to do a channel where I can speak English to reach a wider audience. So I would really be happy if you would help me out, and every like, subscribe and also comment would help the channel to grow. And I'm also kindly expecting your input for this journey, so we will do this journey together. Just leave your opinions, what I should do next, where I should develop, what I should reskill maybe. Let's find out together what works in this realm. So let's begin as a cleric. So we will go war domain, which actually gives us an additional attack, as you just saw. I will try to focus a little bit on melee. And we will go Tempest, which is the god of war, obviously, in this realm. Also, a short technical disclaimer: the flickering on the lower part of the screen you will see, it will disappear. I have to reload the game because I'm still running on Vulkan. When you capture the game, I need to switch to DirectX 11 in order to have a clean picture without flickering. So indulge this for a moment. I will get rid of it as soon as I start playing. Happening is that I did every playthrough with Shadowheart in my party as cleric, and even though for romance reasons and also for playable reasons, I didn't start another cleric. Well, I started one, but I put a multi-class into sorcerer and mage, so that's not the point. Thing about a cleric is I don't want to play healing cleric here, to be clear, so I will try to go a cleric which can do a certain amount of damage, maybe not as much as a fighter or paladin, but also a certain amount of debuffs and buffs. So there is a possibility I could even use Shadowheart as a full cleric healer if I want to spec her like that, but I most likely will play the most part of the game without Shadowheart in my party, I guess. So I will get her on certain battles, but I really want to try to leave her out and get a bit more feel for the other characters in the game. So Karla, Will, so not the obvious four, but Lazelle will be there as well. But I will make those decisions as long as we proceed further. Maybe, who knows, maybe I see on Tactician that I need 2 clerics, one for healing, one for damage and debuffing, and 2 damage characters. We will go into that, so party development is also part. So here we see other classes might have proficiencies, like half orc, for example. gives us more, like he cannot die, or when he dies he comes back with 1 HP on the first time, and he throws. It's not like doubling the critical hits, so it reads like it would double, but you only roll 1 additional d6, so the extra damage output on an orc is not too big. So whatever you want to play, you can play. I'm gonna play for style reasons now human race, and let's see what I want. So for the first cantrips, like Tactician playthrough is a bit different because it is really tactical, and Cleric is actually has a lot of tools of trade. So let's see what we will go for. So obviously we can change this by running through the game, and we can do any changes accordingly to what we want. First of all, important with the Cleric comes the skills of light armor, medium armor, shields, and heavy armor. So what we do here, that's actually good for a tanky character. And produce flame is actually some kind of good stuff because you generate a flame which you can throw. The thing is, it takes an extra action, but on the first time you cast it, you can immediately throw one flame. So that's kind of neat in the early game. On the war domain, additionally, we have the Shield of Faith, which increases the armor class, and it's an abjuration spell, so it needs concentration, and which is always prepared and a really good thing. So Divine Favor basically enhances my weapon with an extra amount of damage, which is decent, especially for a character who doesn't do baseline much damage on his weapons. So let's see where this is going. Divine Favor obviously is really good, and the subclass feature, which gives us a small extra attack as a small action basically after doing a normal attack. Shield of Faith is a must-have. It's a really good spell. Yeah, War Priest. And additional attacks as bonus action, that's basically it. Yeah, as speaking for cantrips, as I said, sorry about that, we have a resistance, which gives a bit of durability. We could do the Produce Flame, which is actually nice because once you cast it, you can immediately throw one, and after that it's a bonus action. Sacred Flame has become a bit meme, but it is a radiant damage on a dex save, so people tend to use it wrong and say it never does anything. So you can actually go both here, Produce Flame, or go the Holy Flame. But since I want to basically smite our opponents, I will keep the Flame for now. Yes. So you could go either or. Anyway, our loadout is pretty decent as it comes. We have heavy armor proficiency. We have all the skills: history, religion, insight, medicine, persuasion. And as you see, for the proficiencies on the right side, now we go to divinity. We keep tempers, which is the war of good. Background, I go, with acolyte. You could go with inside wisdom, since our wisdom is pretty high. You could play around a little bit with that. Insight and persuasion is usable. You could also go insight and religion, but in my opinion, insight and persuasion is a bit, from my playstyle, a bit better. Eventually, it's up to you. It's your choice, your game, whatever. So here we see our skills, which give us bonus to certain rolls or checks. And yeah, medicine could be high here, survival, persuasion. But short change of mind, I'm going to rearrange my cantrips shortly, so I will indeed do both Flame and Holy Smite, basically, which never does anything. So take a look in the book, spell book. Guiding Bolt is mandatory. Sanctuary is good, but not sure about that yet. So it's our range attack. Then we do some necro damage. I'm not sure about healing wounds. I actually do not want to play as a healer, but in the early game, especially, we need some healing. Now let's, I don't know, not about 100% sure what I'm going to take as the first slot. So we might proceed with this guide, which still makes us a little bit more durable and better on some check and saving rolls. And inflicting wounds for level 1 spell, it can potentially 1 to 30 damage, And Bless is actually a pretty decent thing because you can enhance 3 creatures, like friendly creatures, in order to enhance their attack and rolls. So that's not too bad of a loadout. We could now venture forth with our abilities. With our ability points, let's say it like this. So being a human cleric, anyway, a cleric itself, wisdom is possibly our most important thing. Yeah, so we're going to go strength 16, then we will keep our wisdom as high as possible, our constitution at 14, dump intelligence on 8, dexterity and charisma we will leave on 10. If you want to know what that actually means with values, I will or have made a specific video only for that kind of thing. You can also see the bonus to saving throws and such if you just hover over it. So I'll have a separate video on that. Now let's proceed further and start our adventure with a name. My character will be Merrick Grimaldus, which is, if you're familiar with the Warhammer universe, it is a chaplain, or the Reclusiac, the highest chaplain of the Black Templar Brotherhood of the Space Marines, which is one of the most badass characters in Warhammer 40k, not 30k, but yeah, it's possibly my most favorite character in the Warhammer universe, just talking about the 40,000. So we need a companion, a guardian, which will later be, spoiler, she will not look like this eventually. Let's keep it like that. So yeah, let's keep it simple here. I will possibly just change the hair for something. You could even leave it like that. Or maybe red hair? I don't know. Yeah, red hair could be as well. But let's keep it simple. Maybe a beard. Funny as well. No, anyway, venture forth. But as you know from Baldur's Gate 2, you must gather your party before venturing forth. Ladies and gentlemen, here we start. I'm not sure about that now. Should I leave the cutscenes or not? Should I click them away? Should I have fast dialogue? Leave that in the comment section below. I've possibly made like 4 episodes of the playthrough already. So if you comment now, I will implement the changes as I proceed further with this playthrough. So yeah, about this flickering here on the screen, I will change that just shortly into the game. Be right there. It happens when you want to stream or actually capture things with the XSplit broadcaster while playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Vulkan. So when you start the game, you can choose between Vulkan, which actually results in better quality and performance, but I had to go back to DirectX 11, which I will do in a minute, and then we have no more glitches on the screen. So don't worry, it will go away in a minute. So yeah, I had to restart the game and actually go DirectX 11 for this. So if you encounter some unclean graphics or maybe not as fluid, I'm playing in 4K highest resolution and have no issues with Vulkan, but on DirectX 11 I sometimes have certain flaws. So right here, obviously we want to investigate whatever.
Casing is fragile. The slightest touch could cause it to crumble.
I don't care. Couldn't care less. Go for it! Or leave it. What do you say? Yeah, we're smart. So once you touch it, it will blow. So right here, just quickly taking all the stuff I can get. Yeah, in this playthrough, oh, it looks just beautiful. Look at that. In this playthrough, I will try to show you most of the stuff I know. I've started several playthroughs. I've finished 2 of them already. 2 others are on the final act. And yeah. So here we are. So we're gonna free this small creature which is up here. In Spanish you would say pobrecito. Dios mío. No, we keep the English here. So this guy is obviously still alive. Has his bread hanging out. That's me after like returning from vacation back at work. Can't do this anymore. Your brain
You've come to save us from the exposed brain quivers in
So again,
expectation.
let me know. Obviously, if I don't cut, like the cutscenes, I will never cut here.
Realize you're talking to an intellect
But
devourer, a minion of the mind
I will
flayers
try not to cut them. I
abducted
hope I think about that because I've seen them several times. But leave in the comment section, please leave if you want to see all the dialogues in detail. If they're important, I will leave them. Or otherwise, I would skip them. And for minor cutscenes, I would skip them as well. If you want to see it full, just let me know and I will keep it. I have not much experience here in this field, so just let me know what you want. So let's take this brain out. Jummy.
lifts from the skull. But you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature,
Yeah, I could.
making it more subservient.
Hell. So if you do that, it will not be your friend. A small tip here. But if you leave it, this small guy will help you, and it actually does some kind of damage and can support or provide some smaller distraction for enemies. So let's keep it. This guy, there's nothing to loot about. Let's go to find Lozelle, free Shadow Heart, and I'm going to have to restart this game. Hell. But before, quickly going to add Lozelle into the party because I want to have a clean start. Where is she?
Abomination. This is your end. Your head throbs.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who don't like Lozelle, but I actually find it pretty funny. Gets straight to the point and is kind of wicked. And she is, whether you want it or not, possibly one of the strongest party members you could get, at least as a fighter. She is, like, if you skill her properly and give her the right items, which we will do in this playthrough, it's crazy good. She's really good. Ooh. So again, sorry for the flickering, you still have to indulge it a bit more. The reason why I haven't restarted yet is because I had to voice over the first 20 minutes of the video because I was playing late at night and I didn't want to wake up my my girlfriend. So I basically just realized it once I loaded into my editing program, or basically once I watched up my second screen for the capturing program, because I don't see the glitches in game, right? So, and I had that running on my second screen and I didn't get an idea of the glitches. So the graphic glitches will be gone in a minute, so please indulge them a bit more, and then in the next videos it won't happen again, promise. Sorry for that, a little bit of starting issues here. So this fight in particularly, as you see, I use the small brain to actually kill something, and with Lozelle I ran into it and ran back in order so that the opponents might attack my Cleric, which has a shield and is probably a bit tougher to hit and to kill than Lozelle. And now I have Lozelle still at full health. The attacks against my Cleric missed, which is good. And now first, before I do anything, I will always use the brain to see if he does any damage, because he's not so reliable. But as you see, now he is. So based on the success of the small brain, I can make decisions for my characters. The brain cannot do much but one action. Characters have more choices, like shooting arrows or even using spells and what so. So first use a brain in order to make some stuff, and once that's done, successfully or not, you will have a better base for decision making than if you do it the other way around. You know, if you would waste your spells, you might miss, or you possibly don't even have to waste your spell because the small brain does so much damage that an arrow would be enough. So, based on that, yeah, just keep in mind, use a brain first. Now a bit of looting, and let's move on. We want to find our way out of this dungeon, about this spaceship or whatever it might be, and take as much loot as we can. I will leave certain fights. What is this? Yeah, another dragon. It looks just so good. And this should be the spot where I actually restart the game, I think. Or do I free Shadowheart first? We don't know. So here we are, in this chamber. You see the zombies. I could use and push the buttons. And since this video is also some sort of guide for newer players, if you push the buttons there, the zombies will live, and therefore you could do some damage, or you don't. Now I can show you, if you just push the button, you will be alive. Just to give you an idea what happens when we push here.
Psionic energy radiates from the prisoners, but they do not.
And he will awaken. So you could actually kill them before, so you spare a fight. You can loot them. In the beginning I tend to loot everything because it's just good to sell the stuff, and yeah, you know. Shadowheart.
We have no time for stragglers.
Yeah, we don't. But I want her in my party anyways, for obvious reasons.
This ship is crashing. Do you intend to die?
As I said, I don't know. I've had Shadowheart in all of my playthroughs. I think one time even without leaving her the party a single time, because she's just really proficient healer and a good supporting character, Cleric, which in the late game also does a certain amount of damage. She's nice, and you can actually have a romance going on with her, which is kind of cheeky compared to others, but yeah, she has the looks, right? So am I to judge. Anyway, I don't know how I'm gonna keep it this time. I don't know if I can handle this with playing 2 clerics in a party. I don't see that, but in certain circumstances, like major fights or so, I could possibly use a full-time healer. So I had to spec her like that, and my cleric will be more like the debuff and damaging cleric, as it should be for a cleric of Tempest. Yeah. So right here we now search a possibility to free Shadowheart. Let's see what happens.
The newborn mind flares.
Oh shit. I transformed the guy who was in there, or the woman. Sorry about that. Now let's see if we can free the girl, save the princess. So let's check the loots here. I wonder if I will make one playthrough. I will play, I don't know, playthroughs, how good they come for you, or is it too long? I mean, it's like basically 100 videos of 1 hour each. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if even people want to watch that long. So I will see it. This is my first playthrough, and I will make one evil playthrough anyway. So, but I wonder if I will find, like, I will do one game where I find everything, tried everything, and yeah. I mean, every time you play this game, you will find something else to do and some new side dungeon you haven't seen yet. It's just incredible. And I have a lot of hours in this game already and played beta, but crazy. Yeah, let's just go risk here and free her. Yeah, we're on Tactician still. I wanted to check. Hello, darling. No need to kneel now.
Thought that damn thing was going to be my coffin.
Your mind
You keep a dangerous company. They'll have to wait. Let me come with you. We can get off this ship. Shadowheart. It's not enough. She's right.
Well, that's Shadowheart freed, right? So here, sometimes it's good to check the quest journal once it's still overviewable. Inspiration actually on the inspiration tab, you can always see the background of your soldiers and your party members. This small tentacles tend to heal ourselves, but for now it's no much need to heal. So let's try to finish this and get off this dirty ship. And yeah, you should get an idea. So make sure to check like this tab of your menu, because on some points this might lead to your decision with which character you want to start a talk or a scene. So because based on their background, you might have other proficiencies or abilities or dialogue options, right? So for dialogue options, you can also, a small tip for beginners, on the dialogue you can always track your dialogues, because it's basically all written down. So once you forgot something or don't know what happened, you can always go and look back on that tab. So our equipment is still pretty crappy. I'm just looking for some improvement here, but yeah, it's always good to put a ranged weapon, even if you're playing a melee character. And bottom there, you can always switch between melee and shield loadout. Especially if you play against enemies who can disarm you, you can always go and run into you, do your melee hit, and then if you are comfortable with taking damage, you can also switch to ranged weapon. And if you know that he's going to disarm you, like you can read that up front, like basically, or you will have the experience at some point that some people can disarm you, and then he will disarm your range attack, and then you will be left with your melee weapon. So that's a small tip here. So I tend to like to organize it a bit, and with putting it to wares, you can like sell everything with one click. So that's a small preparation here. Always keep your inventory clean, because if you don't do it, it will get later and later. It will get messier and messier, and eventually you end up with a complete mess. And that's really tough to clean up your inventories and characters. So I made a video on customizing your toolbar, which is down there, the hotbar it's called, I think. And then in that video I also show you how to keep your character inventory clean and how to clean it up with a very minimum amount of steps. There you have the tab bar. You can always see all your party members next to each other, and you can also organize your spells. And what I like to do is put the reactions here always on question, so it has to ask. Because if you do it automatically, you might use an action where you don't need it to, or you don't want it to. So always make sure the system is going to ask you if you want to use a reaction or not. Because let's say if you are possibly surrounded by two enemies, one is running away, but the other one still has 1 HP left, and you waste your interception reaction on the one with full HP, you might lose it on the 1 HP and the possibility to kill an opponent, if that makes sense. Also on the tab bar you have the basically the abilities listed there and the gimmicks. So this is actually a very, very good table in order to get an idea of how your party is structured, what you might need and such. So you will also see your proficiencies and stats, and yeah, that's about it. So that's a small excerpt for beginners here, but you should always be aware of your party, what it does and who does what. So it can be a bit overwhelming in the beginning, so really take your time in this game. You have unlimited amount of playtime almost. There are several endings, several classes, several races. You will have different options with each race, each class, and that combination also for various romances, whatever you want. So there's actually no need to rush Baldur's Gate 3. You will have plenty of time, so take your time and enjoy the world, and it makes a lot more fun once you understand all these numbers. You can really get into it, and I'll make a separate video where I will explain what all that means. Make sure to like and subscribe and check it out so you don't miss any of those. And now let's get back to work here. We want to leave that ship. So let's see. There's basically not much you can do wrong here. There are a couple of achievements here. No, I don't want to talk to you. And but problem is I'm playing on Tactician difficulty, and I'm here with 2 Clerics, so my damage output is very limited for the upcoming fight. So yes. good. Slurpy, slurpy. Jeez. Wacko.
Do it.
Yeah, I got it. I have to connect something. So here you could actually exaggerate and also fight the demon who's fighting the mind flayer, which is actually an achievement. So you can do that on easy mode or with another human player in this round. It's super easy, but he has a lot of hit points, and I don't have the tools to trade with him right now. So obviously Baldur's Gate houses a couple of mods, so you could go you could install some mods where you can get more XP, higher level in the beginning, and some customized items. But I can tell you what, I've played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and there was also Enhanced Edition is really good. And there was a character editor where you could put everything into it, like items, all your stats, whatever, your appearance, whatever it might be. And it's fun for a short while. Once you try it, you can just run through, one character can kill everything. But let's talk experience here. Let experience talk here. It is just OP, and it defeats the purpose of the game. And you can try it for a bit of fun, but eventually you will end up in seeing, okay, what is it all about? You will very quickly lose your focus, because you will build OP characters in the beginning, just beat the game really quickly and fairly easy. And it gets boring really fast, so just play it as it's meant to be and you will have a lot more fun, in my opinion. But it's up to you, it's your game. So let's come to the fight. So I obviously shielded Lazelle and myself, because I have 2 clerics, I can do that. And now we will see the flame in action, which can be nice. And always, after you attack, you will always have a little bit of movement left, and you should all your action points available to you, so you can push enemies, you can move further. Always try to strengthen your position for the next fight, or for also think about where you position characters, right? So like your characters with shields obviously can protect and somehow block the ways to your more vulnerable characters. And yes, so on the right side you see the 14. This is the amount of turns we have left to reach this station and connect the tentacles in order to get off the ship. So now I run. Because in this playthrough I have no intentions of dealing with the demon there. Quickly heal myself. Yes, he is really strong, and if you try to attack him now on tactical difficulty, you will almost never hit him. Like, there are certain ways to play around that, I think. There's some stuff which can explode here and there are void bombs over there. But with 2 clerics, I really lack damage right now, and so I will not really go for him. But let's see what happens.
Don't waste a step.
You can even try to push him, like in these small holes which are there. But I even tried it with a really strong character once and it didn't work. I even reloaded like 10 times or so. It never worked to push him down that alley. I can't. Like, all these skins, all these spells require basically being next to him. Well, it did nothing, obviously. Just to show you, he's really hard to hit whether it's melee, spells, or magic, or arrows. It's tough. I will show you a small gimmick here, the void bomb.
Light on my feet.
Yeah, as we proceed, there's not much to do here. So you could try to engage the big devil. For now, I'm going to proceed further here. There are a couple of small creatures up there. You can actually use the hand also to connect the tentacles, I think. But anyway. So there's not much to say about this. So if you are new to this and possibly want to go through in Tactician, I suggest you to not engage the devil. There might be ways to kill him in Tactician, but it would require some really good setup and possibly a good base of characters in here. As I said, this was a void bomb, pretty funny, just to show you. And said, like, with 2 clerics I don't see that happening because I tried it a lot, so I'm not even going to bother and waste your time. So I'm just going to reload quickly because I just wanted to show you how the void bomb works, because it actually doesn't do any damage. Later in the game you will get an ability which can do most likely the same, but yeah. So the void bomb, I call it bomb. You should keep it for later because it can be really useful to pull some enemies together and eventually get some pulling, some crowd control. Here you see, I moved and had nothing in range, so my proficiency in dexterity is not really good, so my arrows most likely will miss the target. Therefore I can cast a flame and have a range attack available when I need it. And that's pretty good actually. I can cast it and I can also keep it. I don't have to throw it initially. I can just keep it for later turns, but then it requires a complete bonus action to throw it again. And here I can do both at once, like, hope that makes sense for you. As you see, the devil, or whatever it is, the creature, the demon, does a lot of damage. So you wanna kind of disengage, and also the Lilith, the tentacle guy is pretty low on stamina right now. He will die in a matter of seconds. Also, here we are. Also for Lae'zel it's important. She has a really powerful jump, which can close a lot of distance. Slapped. And yeah, it's always good to use the jump on Lae'zel. That was bad movement. Now you see. One damage. There we go. You know why it's a meme. So what happens now at the end of the 11th turn and beginning of 10? The demons, I call them demons right now, will get reinforcements. On casual mode you can actually engage the demon lord and the small companions, and they have some loot for you, which is actually nice, but it's not really needed. You see, he basically can one-hit Shadowheart, so that's a tough one. Not gonna let her die here. And try to push him away. You see, it's really hard to push him. I tried to push him several times into a hole, but it doesn't work.
The hell's alien transponder?
Ah, sorry, I clicked it away. Guys, please I pre-record now, but let me know if you want to see all the cutscenes and stuff like that. Oh, look at that. The graphics are building up. I don't have that when I use Vulkan. So if I have some performance lags here, it's because of DirectX 11. Because with Vulkan it works perfectly fine. Magic. Yeah, here we are. We made it off alive from the bad alien ship. Alien ship. I like some screenshots here and there. I really like some moments of the game. I really like the armor of the Cleric. Really looks good, actually.
As you wake, the
Pretty decent.
tadpoles squirm. Chaos of the crash site confused. You'll need to do it quick. The tadpoles are...
So here, now we are alone again. You see our party is vanished. We have to search for... Actually, we don't know where we are right now.
There must be a settlement somewhere.
Yeah, there must be a settlement. That's a good spot. And now we are looking for someone. A lot of dead people around here. Oh, Shadowheart. Poor thing. Yeah, obviously, if you try to grab the artifact, she will waken up and you get immediately a negative impulse on her. So, that's just as a tip. She's pretty cheesy, kinky, whatever how you say it.
Remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing. First things, we might have escaped, but we still have these little we need each other. And we both know what's it. One thing. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past me.
I like her voice acting, actually. Not too much into this emo style, but yeah. Voice acting is good. So now we have our first level up. Interesting here. So yeah, we increase our hit points by a random dice roll, depending on the character. So we got class features, so we have a level 1 spell slot, and I get to channel divine energy, turn undead, so and get guided strike, which is actually a plus 10 bonus on an attack roll. You can really use it, and it will show you what you rolled, and if you want to use the guided strike to enhance your roll in order to maybe then hit the target you didn't hit before. So cure rounds, I'm still not sure about that, because I still will have the girl in my party, like Shadowheart, for now, and she is alright in healing. Bane is actually pretty good to debuff. Sanctuary is also not too bad, actually, because you make a character of your party untargetable. Protection evil is good because you basically give disadvantage to creatures who attack the target, which has protection from evil and good. That might make some difference on some points. So really here we want to keep with the necrotic, we want to keep with the holy blast, how I call it, and at least one healing span is not one healing spell is not too bad, but actually it is really more about what you want to do. But keep in mind, if you cast like this sanctuary stuff and Bane or whatever, you will not be able to do anything in addition. So same counts for blessing. So that's kind of cheesy to take both of this. So really read your skills. I will also do a video on this single spells and spell classes differentiated and explained. So make sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss any of that in the future. So as these are our first steps in the realm, at least on the ground, we have to farm a lot. So here are a lot of pouches. We have a couple of alchemistic stuff, potions and so on, and a lot of stuff you could sell later. It takes some time to loot everything, but I can just highly suggest it because you will need some money in the very beginning, and later on that shouldn't be a problem. So here we come for another level up. I almost forgot Shadowheart got a level up as well, and she has level 2. So she's basically about all the support, and I kind of like it as it is, like 2 healing spells, 1 shield and 2 damage spells, which is not too bad. I could think about going for more damage, but we will still need some time for finding our allies and more teammates. So I have kind of a team or lineup in mind I want to play in this playthrough. I'm not going to tell it to you. Maybe I'm going to switch ideas, but that's going to be later. So I'll take the flame. So here now I'm gonna forward a bit. I'm just looting all the stuff here and there to quicken it up a little bit. The thing is, there are a lot of dead people. All the fishes and stuff you could use for your breaks. Here's an edge and a waypoint. This is how the waypoints look. And here's the door. We will later find out what that is about. I'm not going even to try that lockpick because it's super high, and it is easy as a way we play it around now. I also suggest to read every note you find and all the letters you find. You can later send them into your camp or whatever it might be, or you just sell them. Some of them hold intel, some of them hold side missions, and some of them you even need to fulfill some quests. So yeah, but usually those have a orange or bronze and gold, golden or whatever red frame around them. So yeah, here you can arrange your profile pictures. It actually has no influence on the formation the characters are walking in, unless the first, like who's very on top, will always go first. But anything else is basically a bit shifted. So now I have Shadowheart going first. To get into this top view, you can press the O button on your camera, and this is called the tactical view. So again here, don't leave anything. Right now I'm going to give myself the shield. She's going into herself. So what that does is improves basically my armor class. So you could also rearrange the hotbar down there, but I have a different video on that, so you can check that out. I will do that later here. It's not necessary right now because we are not really overwhelmed with spells and stuff like this. So here again. So now we have a couple of enemies. What you can do is always to put your weapon into fire, so you get an additional fire damage. But I actually wanted to use my melee weapon. Here we go. And now it's on fire. I'm gonna do that for both. And here we are. So the armor class is really good. AC 17 right now, as you see. I have an attack bonus of 5 with my melee weapon. Oh, and let's go.
Better stay back. One strike could be lethal.
So hopefully I will make some good damage on this, but I could use a guiding bolt to keep them at distance. I actually want to thin them out before they come close, because I will not be able to kill them with melee attacks only, so I try to damage all of them while at range. The first one can die. Now a bit of heal, I think I run. And she will go first, so she might get the first attacks. Nope. Enemy is smart and runs just behind me to attack Merit Reminders. Here again, the shield really pays off with a better armor class. Grimaldus, like my main character, already lost his shield for missing concentration. And here a critical hit miss. So right now, if you jump, you will lose the push. And now you can shove not push, and make some damage on the fire. And then I will try to get rid of this guy. Should work. Should be dead, so it's good. And he will get 1 to 4 fire each turn, and I will be able to finish him off with a melee attack next. Yeah, always check out with the button T on your keyboard. You can click on everything in the game, and it will give you a deep insight of its status, abilities, stat lines, and whatsoever. So it's really, really good and really, really useful. You should use that button a lot. Hey, this small brains do a lot of damage actually. So I want to make him stumble. Concussive didn't work, but since I'm War Cleric, I have another attack. And here we go. Nothing in here, not even brain cells. Sad. And we can move on. So there's not much left, like we have 10 minutes left in this video, and I'm going to show you where you find your next 2 companions. Bit of loot here and there, Mangled Fisher. By pressing the space button, like when you open like a crate or such, you can just push the space button on your keyboard and you will automatically completely put everything there is into your inventory. Like select all basically. You don't have to use your mouse button. There's a chest. It's an oil, mind flayer. We can all sell that stuff. Sometimes I just leave. Sound design is also really, really good. I put the music down for copyright issues, so because it's a really good score on this game, I tend to keep it very, very low or out, because if it's too present, I might get a copyright claim and have to remove the video, or will not be able to monetize it later on. So forgive me that, but the music in this game is so beautiful. I just can highly recommend to pay $10 more for the digital collector's edition in order to get a digital art book and the original score downloadable as MP3 or WAV file, and that's just amazing. So here again, these spots always look like there is some chest burrowed in the earth or some stuff to pick. So always make sure to check out each area of the map. You might find new items, you might find a chest, and it's really a lot going on in this level design. So yeah, let's take a look what here Asterin is about. Actually, you either hate him or like him, but I think his voice acting is pretty on point.
For a kind soul.
And
not to worry.
Character stylization, or how you say it, is really, really good. I have kind of mixed feelings about him, to be honest. He's if you don't play Thief or Rook, he's like a really good character to have in your camp once you need him.
I saw you. What did you and those tentacled freaks do to me?
He has also a pretty cool backstory.
What's going on? And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards. Apologies. Indeed we are.
Really good.
My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts... My. You've been... So, did you learn anything about these worms? Although, it hasn't happened yet. You know, and anyone that can crash it. All right.
Right. So for Astarion, like if you play Rook, you probably won't use him, even though he has a pretty cool side quest, side story, and all of that. But he will possibly spend most of the time in the camp. He's not like the character you will have in your party all day around. But said that, there will be specific moments in this game where you really need him, and he's so good in opening doors and just sneaking around. And if you skill him properly, he can also help a lot in certain game situations. But he's he's a very specific tool with a very specific task, so. Also, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, he has some cool, unique skills you will not get with any other Rook, and then the combination, he is really fun. So simple. Did you know you can change the dice color? But this is barely readable, so yeah, I like to stay with scuffed metal. So you see all the bonus he gets, like dexterity is high, and he can basically open any door. Unless it's not magically sealed or such. So let's see what's left of this wreck. It's all burning. The atmosphere here is really cool. And as I said, if you find minor performance issues, I don't have them while playing. That comes basically from the, I think, transition between DirectX 11 and recording, and I don't know. I can play this perfectly fluid, but I hope the quality is fine for you. I somehow tried to record it in ultra high definition, like 4K. So if some of you know how to do that with XSplit Broadcaster, I didn't go into it. All time I record, even though I'm playing on a 4K screen and have settings to ultra high and everything, you will always go and record it in one full HD only. So I would like to provide even more resolution, but maybe some of you here who are watching can help me with that. And yeah. So here I'm. You cannot shove it. You can just drag and drop it. Like drag, left click, grab and drop. Unfortunately, my recording stopped here. But you can go, you cannot destroy it, you cannot shove it, you can just left click, drag and drop. And there was a small, I think a ring or such was below it. So here my recording dropped. And yeah, so there's a mind flayer here, but he will not do any harm. So we can venture forth. And let's see what this guy is about.
You could compassion. Yes, you should be possessed, and their feelings.
It actually,
Seems to focus elsewhere.
you can make whatever you want here, but it doesn't really have an impact on the game as far as I'm as far as I know. So I just want to see what's gonna happen, but. Also critical success, sometimes, for example, with modifiers you can even roll 25, 26. Sometimes, even if you have a difficulty of 30, you might hit a 20 indeed, and it will be enough because it is a critical success. So you will, with a rolling a natural 20, you will even succeed difficulties of 30 or such. That just isn't side information. So we could go right here. I prefer to go top first for two reasons. If you jump, your party will also jump. because here we will find our first shovel, and we do need that in order to dig around in mud
Check it out. But be careful.
and find some stuff. Here we are, a chest. That chest all over, whether you will find them or not, is in regard to your, I think, survivability checks and perceptions. So yeah. La 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 la. Man, I would love to play Shadows of Am, which is my all-time favorite, Baldur's Gate 2. And in this engine.
The thing is dangerous.
And if it's your skull.
Of course, here it was like there's always another way to do things here. You could decept them, you can pursue them, you can even attack them and gain some minor XP on it. So as it is for XP, it's not so much that it's worth the bad reputation in general. So actually,
He's right. Let's go. We need to check out that blast.
thing is,
You didn't hear it.
I'm not completely evil right here, otherwise I would have just slayed them to death. But yeah, I want to keep it simple here. And keep in mind that every minor
Northwest.
or seemingly minor decision you take in early game may have results in late game and change your path to victory a lot. So here on stuff like this,
Observe and listen.
just be careful not to hit her. So you can just use your arrows or whatever it might be. You could even use a spell to get her down there. There she is.
The tadpole hasn't checked scram, but the longer we might be
She's kind of funny.
She obviously sees your kindness as weak.
It is
Emo girl against
You may as well suggest
Yeah.
a wide bow to worms. The cure I offer will suffice as thanks.
let's get her.
You have made an ally from Kresh. Few know such fortune. Call me Lazel.
I'll trust your judgment, but I won't trust her.
You've a sharp tongue. Come. The horse.
So reason I went here first, like the natural game design would possibly suggest you to go another way, where we will go now and find, short spoiler, someone else first. But since I want to have or continue with Lazel in my party, I will certainly go for her first, so I don't have to switch parties, go in the camp and do all of that. So this is basically a decent loadout I will start with. Like I have my custom character Cleric. I will continue to have Shadowheart in my party because I could need her healing. I have Astarion and Lazel as a fighter, which for now is a pretty good combination. Yeah, guys, thank you, and girls, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this playthrough, which is part 1. I already pre-recorded 2 more. And once you get your comments in here, I will be able to adapt them and make better videos. I would love you to just hit the subscribe and bell button. It will really help me grow. So as I said, I have another tabletop channel, but it is in German, and I really love to get back into Dungeons and Dragons, and especially the Baldur's Gate series. And I think this is a good way to end it. This is Gale, and what we're gonna do with him, I'm gonna show you later in part 2. Make sure to stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, dear adventurers. Have a safe trip through Faerun. I hope all your characters will survive your upcoming battles and make it good. Till the next time.